Okay, I just got done talking about the amygdala hijack, which is basically when your amygdala hijacks your frontal lobe and kind of controls your thinking into that fight, flight, or freeze, the caveman response, right? So, and I talked about how I really think that our brains have a difficult time deciding whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, or spiritual pain, and that our bodies react the same to all three. So what does that look like if we have spiritual pain and our amygdala takes control? Well, it looks like us shouting at the heavens and blaming God. It looks like us, and that might be fighting, right? It looks like us leaving the church, leaving our prayer life, leaving our study life, and just fleeing from God, which is the flight response. And then you have the freeze response, which is, you know what, I'm mad, I go to church, I sit in a pew, I sit there, I sing my songs, I listen to the preacher, and I go home, and the rest of the week I do nothing because I just don't want to do anything about it, and I just have gone to withdrawal and I give up. So I think this happens to us, frequently. We get mad at God and we react. So, another thing that happens is that whatever reason why we're mad at God is not just a one-time thing. It's every time that we get reminded of that thing, whether it's a loss or whether it's an opportunity that didn't happen or whatever it is that we're mad at God. It's like every time the name God is brought up, that amygdala fires again and we get mad again, right? Every time we go to church, we're reminded of what God did to us. So yeah, the amygdala fires and it makes us mad, and so what do? Right? We get it, right? We see what happens, but now what? What do you do? It's funny because Jesus, understood this kind of stuff probably before our scientists did. Because he said something that our scientists are understanding and explaining about how we have to intentionally move our thoughts from the amygdala to the frontal lobe. And the way Jesus explains it, he says, love God with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul. It's funny because in Deuteronomy, what he's actually quoting from says, love God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength. But Jesus kind of flips the script here and he says, love God with all of your mind. That's important. If we want to love God, we have to intentionally move our thought process from our amygdala to our frontal lobe by thinking about our thinking. And that sounds all complex. What do you mean thinking about your thinking? It's when I tell my 7-year-old son, Christian, you need to go and calm down and count to 10. Sometimes we have to do that. We have to intentionally pause and recognize, oh no, my amygdala has fired. I'm upset. And maybe I need to change my thinking for a second and think about what's actually going on here. And think logically instead of thinking emotionally for just a moment and try to get rectified and figure it out. I need to love God with all of my mind. I think if we do that, we'll have a healthier spirituality. If we pause and think about things from God's perspective. Think about things from outside of our peripheral vision. Thinking about things as it happens to others and thinking about God for just a moment. I think if we do that, think about our thinking, then we can experience some healing and we can experience some health and have a better spiritual fitness.